Hello and welcome to Wolfman Gaming. This is my The Last of Us Remastered Grounded difficulty walkthrough. Today we are taking on Chapter 3, also known as Billstown, and this is part 1 of 2. I decided to divide the chapter into 2 videos because it makes it easier for you to find if you're looking for a specific part, and also it's more fun to watch a short video than a long one. And the beginning of this chapter is quite slow, and so I want to get into more of info on the game, basically, and this difficulty setting. Because Grounded is somewhat built on an illusion of exposure and danger. Not saying that it's not hard, because it is. It is very hard, and it's good to know some things, because the game will get harder from now on. Because chapter 1 and 2, as you probably seen in my previous videos, there are a lot of set patrol patterns and you can abuse that to your advantage. But from now on the game is gonna get a bit more skill dependent. It does require you to be a decent player to get through it, but there is absolutely no need to be a god at gaming with cat-like reflexes and 4 extra fingers to reach all the buttons at once. But at Grounded mode, aside from there not being a heads-up display, you also have no mid-battle checkpoints. So if a fight consists of more than one wave of enemies, there is no checkpoint in between them. I think there are checkpoints on all other difficulties, even on Survivor. So if you get to a really long fight, there's a lot of enemies and you die on the last one, sad to tell you, you're gonna have to start over from the beginning of the fight. But never fear, you will make it, and I will help you as much as I can. Also, I think that The Last of Us is at its best between the fights. Not because of the difficulty, but because I love the story in this game. It's solid script, solid story, solid voice acting. Ashley Johnson, who plays Ellie, and Troy Baker, who plays Joel, make a really great job. Also, one thing I want to tell you, when you jump down from this ledge, be very careful, be very slow. You see me rotating the camera here because sometimes if you get really unlucky, one of those clickers will hear you and come running after you, but everything went well and we can move on. So as I was saying, I think the story mode or the story sequences are the best in the game. When you just walk around, everything is still, there are no hunters, there are no infected, and they just talk to each other, or you just enjoy the environments, because you can't get past the fact that this is a beautiful game. It was beautiful on PS3 and it's amazing on PS4. Also, I just picked up the bow, which you will also, just before we get to this part. And the bow is effectively the best weapon in the game, in my opinion. It's silent, first of all. It's very deadly. And when you shoot an enemy, if you're lucky, your arrow won't break. This is completely random if it breaks or not. There is no way to conserve them. Like, if you hit their head, they are less likely to break than if you hit their body. No. So you're at the mercy of the game when it comes to that. But if you manage your arrows, this will get you out of a lot of trouble and it will give you the upper edge in a lot of situations. And another thing I want to talk about is upgrades. You saw me pick up some gears which you use to make upgrades. You can upgrade your weapons and you can upgrade your gear. The upgrade you should focus on first. If you only get to make that upgrade, you're still gonna be fine, and that is making the holsters. You can make a holster for your small weapons and a holster for your big weapons or your big guns. And this allows you to quick switch between weapons. From the start you can have one gun and one rifle or bow to quick switch between, but this gives you the option of quick switching between 2 of each. And this guy, just throw a bottle and give him a lead pipe to the face.
Well, while we're here, let's search the place.
So the holsters, they will save your life from time to time, and you can make sure to always have quick access to the weapons you have most ammo for at the moment. So make the holsters as soon as you can, and that's one of the reasons why it's so important to scavenge. And speaking of scavenging, you see me running around a bit in here, and you might be thinking, why have you kept this in? I have kept this in for one specific reason, because I make a mistake when I get out of this building, and I want to show you that mistake so you can learn from my mistake and not make it as well, because that will make the next sequence a bit easier. And as you can see, I'm looking for everything, trying to find pills or gears so I can upgrade myself or my gear. And the mistake I make when I come out of here is there is a trap, a bomb trap, which you will see. I throw a bottle at it to make it explode, and I stand too close so I take some damage. And if you're at low health when you get here, you can die from it. So keep your distance when you throw the bottle. I thought I was in a secure distance, but apparently I wasn't, and that makes the next sequence a bit harder. So you see I take a little bit of damage. Don't make that mistake. And this is the first time the game becomes skill dependent. If you're at full health, it's quite a bit easier, because you're hanging in one of Bill's traps,
stupid traps,
as Joel said. And
there, that fridge,
you're gonna have to shoot down some infected running at you. The runners take 2 bullets to the center mass to go down, 1 if you get a headshot, and the clickers take 3, and I believe 2 or maybe 1 if you get a headshot. If you're at full health when you reach this area, you can let a runner run up to you and grab you, and by matching square you'll start struggling with them and push them back. And when you push them back, if you aim your gun, Joel will automatically aim at their head, so you'll get an instant headshot, and that makes this a lot easier. But since I wasn't at full health, I messed up at the trap. I have to do this the hard way. So, and the hard way means just what you see on your screen. Take them down before they can take me down. And my best tip for this fight is shoot 2 bullets, then reload. Because, as I said, the runners take 2 shots, and always try to make sure you have a full clip in your revolver. You do have unlimited ammo, as you could see there. Ammo gets thrown at you from Ellie. Great sentence, Wolfman. And when the fridge falls over, you're not in any danger anymore. The enemies focus on Ellie, and if they grab her, you saw that little red cross that came up over her head, means she's in danger. So she doesn't die very fast. To grab you do have time to react and aim properly, but it doesn't mean she's out of danger. But it takes longer for her to bite the bullet than it does for Joel. So we just hang around, shoot some more infected, and we hear this sound. Enter Bill. Bill is a friend of Joel, and he's gonna help us in this chapter a little bit. Anytime now, Bill. Thank you. So, as I said, the game becomes more skill dependent from now on. You can still abuse some areas. There are still scripted battles coming up, and I will show you my best strategies to get through them. But sometimes you're gonna have to adapt and take them down as fast as you can. Here you're gonna have to shoot the first one. When he goes down, we'll run in. And when we try to exit this laundromat, there are gonna be some infected, so I go in here, try to lure them in there. So I can kite them a bit around this room and run out this door. I get grabbed, and luckily for me, the other one misses me and we can move on. In for this door and we're safe. Once again. And this fight can troll you. If you use a Molotov, as soon as you get into this area, you can spawn kill a lot of them, I think. I didn't do that. They're standing over there in front of the big red and white truck. There you see the cross, that means you have to help Bill or else he will get killed. They don't rush it when they try to kill him.
Stick with me.
So he's not in any immediate danger. Don't have to drop everything and run over there, but don't take too long because then he will die and you'll have to restart the fight. And in this fight I use bricks and bottles a lot, because if you throw a brick or a bottle and stun them and you have a melee weapon, you see it's a one-hit kill. And I use that a lot. I also get hope for Bill to help me. Sometimes he can be great, sometimes he can be totally useless. That's all very random. I think it's kind of programming that he may take out a certain percentage of the enemies, but you're gonna have to do the grunt work yourself. And in a situation like this, when you face off against both runners and clickers, always focus on the runners first. Because yes, the clickers are more dangerous, technically, but they are also slower, and as I mentioned before, they are also blind. So focus on the runners, they're the biggest threat, and just keep an eye out for the clickers, keeping it in your sight so he doesn't sneak up on you. But so far so good. Well, I think it's just the clicker left now, and one clicker is no problem at all. But also a little tip when it comes to clickers, you can thank you, Bill. You can use the stun and bash trick on clickers as well. But sometimes when a clicker comes towards you and it's in an aggressive state, it waves its arms forwards and back. Then you don't throw a brick, as he does right there. Because if you throw a brick at him when he does that, he will just swing at it and he won't get stunned. As Bill puts him out of his misery, and we move on. And just take a second to admire the environments. Look at all the leaves and the foliage, and just an amazing looking game. But now we move into the cemetery, and this is a stealth-based area. We're gonna move through here, and there are a bunch of clickers in this area. but if you take it slow, you should have no problem. Camp out by this door for a little while and wait for that one to make his little patrol route. He will go past the door, he will go back a little bit, and then he'll start walking towards that monument. So we sneak in behind him. He walks towards the monument, we stay on his right, because he stays on the left side, so we go there. And we have his jolly little friend over here, which hopefully will turn around and not cause you any fuss, walk away. And we just make a right around the corner and down the stairs. This area down here, I get really lucky. I don't think their patrol patterns is 100% consistent, but if you foul up and get spotted, just try. You can try to push on or restart the checkpoint and you will get it eventually. So he walks over there, I move over this way. And I don't know if I mentioned it before, but the NPCs, Ellie and Bill in this case, cannot be spotted by the enemies unless you have been spotted first. The enemies are totally blind to them, which can lead to some quite funny situations at times, because on my first attempt at cemetery, that very first clicker, Ellie ran into him and moved him about a meter. And for you Americans, I think a meter is around 3 feet. So that looked really silly. It helped me because it moved him out of my way, but very weird situation.
Locked.
So try this door and move away a bit from it, because Bill has the key, but he can't open it while you're in the way. So we played a waiting game for a little bit, wait for Bill to get off his fat ass and unlock
Hold
it.
up. I got a key for that gate.
Thank you, Bill. And this is quite a long stealth area, but this cemetery is the hard part of it. The next one is a lot easier. So, yeah, Ellie makes you aware that there are runners up ahead. And here I also make a mistake, I think. Because I think if you go for the guy on the left, Bill will take out the right guy. But since I went for the right guy, he doesn't do anything. So I take down him. And if you're gonna do as I do it, take out the right guy first. Because there's a very specific reason for that. Because I told you earlier that when Joel takes down the last one of an enemy in a group, he does another takedown animation. And if you use that on him, as he does here, you're at the risk of this guy hearing it if you take out the left guy first. And if he hears it, he'll come running and he'll bring along all his jolly little infected friends. And you'll be in a shitstorm. And I can almost promise you, you will not be on the victory side of that one. But if you do as I did, you should be just fine, no problems. So we go into this garage and we'll pass some crates. Be careful when you go out here, because there are a few infected patrolling around. But hang a left, hug the left side, and shouldn't be a problem at all. But just look at it, the environments, it's great. Still, after 6 runs through this game, I still get amazed by it. When you get into this garage though, as you can see, I move over to this shelf and pick up some arrows and some gears. Those arrows are a fixed pickup. No matter how much ammo you have, there will always be arrows on that shelf. So pick them up. And everyone in this living in this area has the same red lawnmower. Just so you know, because we're in suburbia now, people. And
What about
here
going through
we're
here?
all conformate
What, the
and
doggy
do
door?
things the same way. So we pry open a doggy door and
Maybe you should
move
give
on
her a gun.
as soon as
Okay, Bill.
Ellie opens the door.
There's more of those clicker things inside the house.
And we move on to another stealth section. Gonna get through this
As soon as
house.
you
There's a lot of clickers, but
stay
they're
out.
all in a passive state. So you won't have any problems at all if you just take it slow and progress the same way as I do. And as I said, the game does become harder from now on, but it's not as hard as Naughty Dog led us to believe when Grounded mode was first released for the PS3. Because according to them it would be borderline impossible and you had to be this elite hardcore gamer. And no, you don't. Because I am pretty hardcore. Wouldn't call myself an elite gamer by any means, but I do play a lot more video games than the average guy does. And yes, it's hard. Hard, yes. Impossible, absolutely no. And you will know that as well if you follow this guide and adapt to the situations where you have to adapt and do your best. You will persevere and you will conquer this difficulty and get that lovely
Come on, let's go.
trophy for
On
beating
your
it
being
on
over.
its absolutely hardest difficulty. And I think this is the end of this video. We're closing in on it, at least. So I will very soon leave you, and I will see you in my next video, which will be part 2 of this mission, and we will take on our first boss battle. Imagine that.
Although I got some
What
idea
could a
who might
boss
come through
be
here.
on in
School's on the outside of this house.
post-apocalyptica of The Last of Us? Well, anyway, that's the end of part 1, and I will see you again in part 2. So until next time, this is the Wolfman signing off.